I played the original Resident Evil for the first time this year, and I recently beat it. And you might be wondering, why am I just now playing the original Resident Evil? Especially as somebody that's a Resident Evil fan, and I've talked about so many different Resident Evil games on this channel. Along, if you look at my background, I always have RE3 up there. That's the one you can see. But if you saw like more of this shelf, you would see more Resident Evil games. Like I have Resident Evil Dead Aim over there, and I think RE2 is up there. Now, the main reason why it took me so long to play this game is mainly because I always played the remake, and that was always my experience with RE1. Mainly because I would see people that played the original game and I was just like, do I really need to go back and play this one? Besides, of course, seeing a lot of just the cheesy lines and stuff like that and experience the game since it was the very first game. And I played remakes so many different times that to me it just felt like I didn't need to go back to the original, and I was fine just always watching other people play it, either watching people's Let's Plays or watching people's just other videos on it. I was just like, I don't need to play this. I think I'm fine. I already experienced RE1 with the remake. I think I'm good. And that's kind of just the main reason why I never played the original. And the other reason why I didn't play this game is because I always wanted a physical copy. But I did get a physical copy, but it's not really the good physical copy, and it's the stupid green label director cut, which you know has the stupid clown music in the basement. It has like a lot of other problems with it. And the only reason why I even got that version is because it was $20, and I said, you know what, I'll just get this to get this. But I only played that one a little bit because I didn't want to play that one like that. And plus, around the time I got that, I ended up getting a Vita, and I was going to download the original RE1 on my Vita. But one of the things that did happen was Resident Evil director cut finally came to the PS5. At first it was like behind like the premium thing, but then they finally made it that you could actually buy it. And then like once they made it available that anybody could buy it, that's when I finally got the game. I played it a little bit, and then I finally came back to it like a few weeks ago because I was like, you know what, I finally want to beat this game, especially with RE2 and 3 finally coming to the PlayStation. So I was like, I might as well just play the original, especially because when RE2 and 3 come to the PS5, I'm going to be making videos on those, especially RE3, because RE3 is my favorite one from the original trilogy. So I finally made some time to finally play the original Resident Evil. I played Chris's playthrough, and of course I played Jill's playthrough. That way I could play both of them and just see how the original game was. And in this video, I just want to talk about my whole experience with like playing the original Resident Evil, especially as somebody that's played all the other games besides like maybe a few like spin-offs that I haven't played, mainly because a lot of those are like expensive or I just don't want to play them right now. But when it comes to the mainline series, I've played every single game. It was just the original I never played. Now, one of the first things I do have to mention, because I see this all the time like online, either on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Reddit, on all these different social medias, I always see this topic brought up, and that is tank controls. You have people that love them, and then you have people that hate them and like they don't like them, and that's why they don't want to play the older games. And I'm just like, dog, the tank controls are not even that bad. It's literally a skill issue. If you're not good with tank controls, I'm sorry, it's a skill issue on your part, because tank controls are not that hard. I don't know why so many people complain about those, and especially like the fixed camera angles. I don't know why people be like, oh, the games are too old, I can't play with this, I don't like the fixed camera, the tank controls, when I'm just like, they're not bad. It's like you get used to tank controls so fast, and it's like, have y'all not played any older games that actually experience tank controls? And of course, have y'all never just used like a Game Boy or something like that? Because for the most part, Game Boys are kind of tank controls too. So it's one of the things where I just don't understand why people always complain about it. And that's why you'll see like some Resident Evil fans talk about how they don't want to play any of the games that have fixed camera angles or tank controls because they think it's outdated and it's not good controls. And I'm just like, none of it is outdated at all, because there's so many indie games nowadays that are still doing this and still using tank controls and fixed camera angles, and they're really good games. So that's one of the things I just want to talk about, because I sometimes be seeing people complain about that, and that's one of the reasons why so many people just act like they can't go back to these older games, is because of the controls, which is kind of crazy. Now I just want to talk about some of the things that I noticed in this game, because I noticed a lot of different things. Now the first thing I have to talk about, because any Resident Evil game that has fixed camera angles, I got to talk about those fixed camera angles, because there's a lot of cool angles you get with the fixed camera angle in this game. Like one of my favorite angles that's in this game is like when you finally get out of that hallway that has the dogs that break out of the window, and like if you stand right there, you literally just see Jill or Chris just standing there, and it's like a close-up of their face, and that's one of my favorite camera angles. Also, I like the camera angles when you go to the library. I thought that was really cool, especially because the library is vastly different than what it was in the remake. And like that was one of the things that kind of surprised me. It was just like the way you go to the library is vastly different, and also like the library was really different. It actually had like zombies in there, and like you actually had other rooms you can go to, and then one of the rooms that was in that library had a window you can go to, and the window literally showed like the helipad. And I thought that was really cool, because it kind of just showed you like, yo, this is where you're gonna have to go at the end of the game, because that might be the way you escape. So I thought that was a really cool detail, and it kind of sucks they didn't add that in the remake, because I'm like, why did they not add that room right there in the remake? And especially like the library, because the only thing the library serves a purpose in the remake is literally just fighting Yawn 2, and I was just like, why did the library not serve any other type of purpose? I feel like that was kind of a missed opportunity like in the remake, because in the original, yes, it kind of just serves the same purpose. Yes, you have zombies that are around there, and also you have like items that you can find find in there, and I'm pretty sure this is also where you find the MO disc was also in the library in this one. So it kind of had more of a purpose, but at the same time, I guess they kind of improved the library in the remake. But at the same time, I was just like, I wonder why we couldn't like go here like that. And also one of the other things I thought that was interesting is that there's an elevator that literally connects to the library. I was like, oh, that's really interesting, because I was not expecting that elevator to be like in the library. So I thought that was really cool. Now, my experience with this game when it comes to the survival horror was like, for the most part, it was not really that hard for me. And I think the main reason why is because I played so many other games, because I just felt like I always had a lot of health, and I always had a lot of ammo, because like I just felt like there was not really nothing there that was deterring me from not having a lot of ammo. I think there was maybe one time where I felt like didn't have that much, but at the same time, all I had to do was like get my handgun, because you know, your handgun, you're always going to have so much ammo. That was just one of the things. I never really felt like I was going to run out of ammo, like at all, because I always had either shotgun ammo, or I always had handgun ammo, or I always had different grenade rounds, and I never just felt like I was gonna run out of any of that. So I didn't really get that as survival horror type of experience when it comes to like inventory management, because like for the most part when it comes to the inventory management in this game, it was kind of just self-explanatory. I kept stuff that I needed, and then I kept stuff that I didn't, because to me, I feel like there's other games where you have to do way more inventory management, but in this one I didn't really have to do that much, because I never really kept that much stuff in my inventory besides stuff that was essential. Especially like if I was going to certain areas, I knew what I kind of needed for the most part. Now there are two things I kind of forgot about this game, because I've seen videos about this game, but I forgot about them while I was playing them. Now the first one is like when it comes to your health, because you literally have nothing that would literally notify you that, yo, you have low health. And I forgot that's something that they added in RE2, because RE2 has that, because you know, like when you're in low health, you get all the way to the point where you're basically limping, where in this one you basically have no change at all, and you have to basically look at your inventory and make sure your health is like actually good, or you won't notice it, or you will die. That was one of the things I will say that it did add a little bit challenge to this, because I had to make sure I had to stay on top of my health, so it did add a little bit more challenge to the game. Now the next one is when it comes to the grenade rounds, because I totally forgot that like once you put like a grenade round already in the grenade launcher, you basically have to use it all the way up, and that kind of messed me up a few times, especially when it came against Black Tiger, because I wanted to use flame rounds on him, but I forgot that I couldn't switch them out, so I ended up just like hitting him with grenade rounds, and next thing you know, all the baby spiders got on me, and yeah, that kind of messed up that run. And I did eventually die at that point, mainly because I couldn't find any blue herbs, so that was like one of the more difficult parts that did happen in this game, because I messed up when it came to the grenade rounds, that it kind of messed me up, and it got me stuck in that predicament when I wanted to use flame rounds. That way, you know, the baby spiders wouldn't come out of Black Tiger. Now, a thing I really noticed about this game is that this game is kind of very barren, and it's very basic. Like, it's very, very basic, especially when it comes to the puzzles. The puzzles are super easy. Like, they're very self-explanatory puzzles, and it doesn't really take that much thought to solve them. And that was one of the things that surprised me a lot, because I thought the puzzles in this game would have at least had some type of difficulty. I didn't think they would be that easy. And I mean, every single puzzle is super easy. And I see why in the remake they made the puzzles better than what they were, because the puzzles in the remake are redesigned and like they're better puzzles, where this one, they're just super easy and basic. Like, I was very shocked. I was like, oh, this is all I got to do. I was like, oh, it's this easy. And that was just something that I was very surprised about, just like how easy and how basic the puzzles are. Now when it comes to the Spencer Mansion, it's very empty and very barren. Yes, you have basic stuff that is there when it comes to the pre-rendered backgrounds and all that, but at the same time, compared to RE2 and 3, it's like, yeah, you could tell that was the first game. And I also see like kind of why this game got a remake as fast as it did, because of just like how barren and how basic this game really was. Because some of the hallways and the designs are not really nothing crazy at all. There's like not really that much detail. When you go to the area where Plant 42 is, that whole building over there is very basic. A big ass room with all this empty space, and then you just have like doors over there, and I was just like, dog, that's way too much goddamn space. And even when it comes to Plant 42, the whole room you're at in there, you're basically just in a big ass living room, and then you just have a plant there. Like, it wasn't nothing really crazy when it comes to just like to a lot of the design in this game. But I mean, it is the first game, so I can't really blame it that much for just being basic and barren, because I mean, this game did what it needed to do to actually birth this franchise. Now we got to talk about the enemies, because the enemies were interesting in here, especially when it comes to the zombies, because the zombies kind of shocked me, because for the most part the zombies are moving slow, but like if you're holding a shotgun and you don't shoot them at the right time, they actually will somehow just speed up and bite you. And that happened a few times with me, because I was trying to angle the shotgun at the right time that I can get like headshots, and it was like, nope, they sped up and they bit me. I was like, what? How did he bite me? Because I swear I pushed the button to like shoot him and like shoot off his head, but like no, he ended up biting me. So that is something that did surprise me about the regular zombies, but for the most part the zombies are really easy to take out. All you gotta do is like headshot them with a shotgun, or just hit them with the grenade rounds if you have some extra grenade rounds. Now, an enemy that I thought would be way harder than it actually was the hunters, but the hunters I took out with grenade rounds. Like, all I needed was one grenade round and they were dead, and like they weren't that hard of enemies. Like, I might have got slashed one time, and that was it. But like, you know, their one-hit kill move, that never happened to me at all in this game. I never saw one of the hunters use that at all. And a lot of the hunters you can bait and literally kill them with the grenade rounds, so like they're not that difficult of enemies at all. Now the dogs, of course, the dogs are annoying just like how they are in almost every single Resident Evil game. They're usually annoying because you know how fast and quick they are, but I mean, you can put the dogs out in this game pretty easily, just like any of the original games, because you know, all you got to do when it comes to the dogs is just stun them, but at the same time they're just annoying, but they're not that crazy of enemies at all. Now let's talk about the boss fights, because the boss fights in this game are really easy, like super easy. There's only one boss fight that I actually felt like that was actually pretty hard, and that is the first Yawn boss fight, and that is mainly because you just try and dodge him and not get bit by him, and that was the only reason why that one was kind of difficult, because I kept trying to just try to not get bit by him and just run and grab the medallion, kind of just like how I do in the remake, because in the remake I'll just run and grab the medallion then run to the door, because you know Richard usually saves you at that one when you're playing as Jill, of course. But in this one it kind of was hard to do that because Yawn was just kind of fast and I couldn't really run and dodge and get back there, so I just had to fight him and then of course get bit. But then at the very end, you know, you pass out, and then of course like Barry gives you the antidote. And also on a side note, I was not expecting Richard to die, because I thought we were going to get the antidote and we're just going to heal him kind of like how we do in the remake, but it was like, no, he just dies. And I was just like, oh, he just dies like that? I thought at least we would save him, and it was like, nope, he dies. And I was like, damn, RIP my nigga Richard. Now when it comes to the Plant 42 boss fight, really easy boss fight. You just got to make sure you land your grenade rounds, and that was it. It's very basic. It's not really nothing crazy. And also Plant 42's design always looks so weird. Like, I don't know what that's supposed to be. Also Yawn's design is so interesting, especially when you do the Yawn 2 fight, because he just like disappears and disintegrates into like blood and all that. And I was just like, wow, that's interesting. And also the Yawn 2 boss fight, really easy. All you have to do is stand in a certain area and just hit him with grenade rounds, and then Yawn dies. And the thing is, you won't even get hit like once, like when it comes to the Yawn 2 fight. As long as you stand in a certain area in the Yawn 2 boss fight and you just shoot your grenade rounds, and you make sure you have grenade rounds, because I'm pretty sure you use acid rounds on him, just like how you do like in the remake. You just use acid rounds, and all you have to do is just fire those off, and eventually he's gonna go down, and like you won't even get any damage, and he won't bite you at all. And that one was just a really easy boss fight to me. And then like when it comes to the Tyrant boss fight, the first one of course is very easy, because all you gotta do is shoot him with your Magnum rounds. And of course the second one on the roof is still easy. Yes, you still have the thing where he can swing and hit you, and that does do big damage, but for the most part, if you just hit him either with the grenade rounds or the Magnum rounds, you're still going to take him out and then eventually grab the rocket launcher and kill him. So the boss fights in this game are really easy. I forgot about the Black Tiger boss fight. I just remembered that his fight is also easy, because all you do is shoot him with grenade rounds, but make sure you shoot him with flame rounds, that way the spiders don't come out, because I've made that mistake of shooting him with explosive rounds because I forgot about like the whole, oh, I can't switch grenade rounds out, and then I ended up like hitting them, and then like the baby spiders come there, and the baby spiders can poison you. And also Black Tiger of course can poison you too, and that's one of the reasons why you kind of just want to use flame rounds, that way you can take out Black Tiger. But yeah, boss fights are really easy in this game. They're not really that challenging. It was just the Yawn 1 boss fight to me that was the only one that was kind of challenging. But overall, this was really fun, just finally experiencing the first Resident Evil game, and especially as somebody that's only played the remake, and just seeing the differences from the two, because I would always see videos about that and when they were talking about the differences between these two, but actually finally getting to experience it, and just seeing those differences was very cool, because there was a lot of areas in this room I was expecting us to either do a puzzle or something, and we did not have to do that. And also you had rooms that like in the remake you had things you had to do with them, where in this one they kind of were just rooms that you would go in just to get ammo. Like the room that has like the fish tank, you can literally find grenade rounds in here, where in like I think in the remake you have like a whole puzzle and stuff you have to do like in those rooms, where in this one it's kind of just like, no, you hit a button, it's like, oh, you can go find grenade rounds once you push the fish tank out of the way. Now there are two things I've not talked about yet that are a staple to this game. Now the first one is the live action cutscenes. I really enjoyed the live action cutscenes, especially at the beginning and at the end. I thought those were really cool details that they added to this game, especially to make this game feel more real than it actually was, mainly because, you know, we have the live action sections that are actually showing these characters we are literally about to play in this game, and showing like what happens to them in that forest.
Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine, Barry Burton, Rebecca Chambers, Albert Wesker, Resident Evil.
Before they arrive in the mansion. And then once they arrive in the mansion, that's when we get the other big staple to this game, and that is the campy, cheesy dialogue. Because you have all the cheesy dialogue that happens in this game, and especially when it comes to Barry, we all know that Barry has some cheesy dialogue. We know the iconic scene of "you almost became a Jill sandwich," and all his very wild stuff, like he's like, "oops, I've done it now." So you have all his dialogue that's always funny. Like whenever you see Barry on the screen, you have a whole bunch of them.
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right.
It's a weapon. It's really powerful, especially against living things. Better take it with you.
But how about you, Barry?
I have this.
Hey, what's going on?
Now I've done it. Sorry, Jill. Wait. I'll go and get another rope.
Because you know every single character in this game has some type of cheesy dialogue that's very memorable, and that's one of the other main reasons why you play this game, is for the live action cutscenes and the cheesy dialogue, because the dialogue is something you kind of do have to experience, especially as a Resident Evil fan, and I finally got to experience that in this game. A lot of it was pretty funny, because a lot of it, of course, you can tell that these were Japanese people like working on the script and writing it for people to read in English, and it's like probably what they should have done is like they should have wrote the script, and like somebody should have read the script that like actually speaks English and kind of should have made the script like better than what it was. But I mean, hey, it was the 90s, you know, a lot of video games kind of have some cheesy stuff, but I mean, there are some 90s video games where they don't have that cheesy stuff. But it was just really nice finally experiencing just the dialogue, because that's something I was looking forward to, because I already knew this dialogue was very cheesy. Now I want to talk about one thing I hate about this game, and I did not talk about it at all, because this is an enemy and I hate this enemy with a passion, and that is the chimeras. The chimeras in this game are worse than they are in the remake, and they're so goddamn annoying, because as soon as they drop down, they hurry up and attack you, and then of course you can get hit from the top, but them hitting you from the top is not really that bad. It's really when they drop on you and you're not able to get a shot off, which is so annoying. There was so many times that they damaged me, and I can't lie, when it comes to the chimeras in this game, they gotta be top 5 like most annoyingest enemies like in the whole series. I'm not saying they're more annoying than the eliminators, but I can't lie, they kind of up there, because that's how annoying they were. Because out of everything that was in this game, that was the one thing I hated with a passion, was just the chimeras, because everything else in this game was fine. I love all the guns and all the weapons. I loved all the other monsters. I loved all the areas. It was just when I got to that lab, that was the one thing that pissed me off when I went in there. And also when it comes to lab, of course the lab is very basic too, and like even when it comes to turning on the power, you know, the power was very easy. It was just like a few things you had to do in that area, and of course you got to deal with the chimeras, but you want to take those chimeras out that you don't got to deal with them like that and waste a whole bunch of ammo. You have all the naked zombies and the scientists that are chilling in the lab, but you know, they're really easy to kill. And also I will say this, hey, I actually didn't kill Chris in my playthrough, and it's like usually when I'm playing as Jill, I sometimes low-key be forgetting about Chris, but then when I'm playing as Chris, I never forget about Jill. It's one of them things where I'm just like, why do I forget about Chris sometimes? I think it's because like towards the end of the game, I'm trying to just get up out of there, especially when I'm playing as Jill, and then it's like when I'm playing as Chris, I'm just like, oh yeah, I gotta go rescue Jill. But then when I'm playing as Jill, I'm just like, yeah, fuck Chris, let me go up to the helipad. But I'm glad I finally played this game, and just know we will most definitely be talking about RE2 and 3 very soon, because I love RE3 so much, and it's my favorite game in the series, and I'm so happy that both of those are finally coming to the PS5. It's like about goddamn time this finally came to the PlayStation Classics. Just saying, this should have been on the PS4 already too, because I mean, this was all on the PS3, but it's like, you know, they always take forever to do shit, it seems like, when it comes to Sony. But I'm happy that those two are coming really soon. I'm pretty sure those are coming the 19th or something, so I think it's like Tuesday or something they're dropping. So yeah, those are coming really soon, and I cannot wait, because I'm gonna be playing both of those so goddamn much. But Resident Evil 1 is a game that every Resident Evil fan should play, especially people that became fans with the remakes. You need to play this game, because it's very essential to play this game, especially as somebody that's a Resident Evil fan, and you need to just experience the beginning of the series. Yes, remake, I will say, is the perfect remake, and it is the best way to play RE1, but you need to go back to this game. That way you can experience everything that everybody did back when this game first came out, and you can have the same experience, and you could just play this game. That way you can see how this series started. And one of the best things about this game is that you can see everything they added in this game, and like how exactly they improved it on all the sequels going forward. Because RE1 to RE2 is a big ass jump, because there's so many things in RE2 that they vastly improved when it came from like RE1. And that's one of the cool things about playing RE1, is that you can just notice all those things like when you go to the next few games. And that's one of the things I really enjoyed about playing this game finally. I finally played the first Resident Evil game this year, and it was a great experience. If you enjoyed the video, why not like? If you didn't, you could dislike, subscribe, you really enjoyed. But yeah, we most definitely will be probably talking about RE2 or 3 next. I'm not sure which one, but just know one one of those games will be coming out really soon, probably in September. We'll see though, but maybe at the end of this month. It depends though. I gotta see what I'm doing though. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next video though. Bye.